Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you are new here. I'm Mindy, this is See Mindy Mom, and today I'm doing a what I eat in a day video on the new WW Purple plan. So here we go. All right, y'all, I don't know why I always feel the need to tell you what the weather is here in Tulsa, America, but it is a very chilly 22 degrees, even though it's close to noon. Anyway, as you have surmised by my intro, I am going back to Weight Watchers, at least for a little while, to try this new purple plan. I want to say thank you to all of you guys who watched my video I put out last week. It was kind of an off-the-cuff, like walk and talk chat with you about why I was thinking about this, and you guys had some really good thoughts. I read all your comments, and they gave me a lot to think about, and I really hemmed and hawed about it. I would decide, nah, I'm not going to do it. I kind of like what I'm doing now. I need to keep going. And then I decide, I know I need to make some changes with the kinds of foods that I'm eating, so maybe this would encourage me. I just went back and forth and back and forth. And finally I decided, you know, it doesn't hurt to try it out. I have these lifetime vouchers. When you're a lifetime member and you, if you weigh in each month at in your goal range, you get a voucher for free online tools. And so I had a few of those and I thought, I'll just at least sign up for it. Those vouchers are good for 8 weeks. And so I can have the app and, you know, kind of take a look around once the plans are released and see if it's something I want to do. So I did that, and I decided that I would just jump in because at the end of the day, even though counting calories was working for me and I enjoyed it, it was working for me from a weight loss perspective. But I've been thinking, and I think I've been saying to you guys, and hopefully you've seen evidence of this in my what I eat in a day videos and my recent weigh-in and my grocery hauls, I need to eat a little cleaner. I've let the processed things sneak back in a little too much. And yes, while it was nice to be able to count a candy bar for just 250 calories instead of for like 11 points or something, I was starting to have like treats at every meal or after every meal just because it fit into my calories, and I think it was really kind of affecting my health. I really am intrigued by the purple plan because I think it is as close to a whole foods plan as Weight Watchers has ever been, and I think it will really encourage me, especially since I had already decided to move that direction. I think it will really encourage me to eat that way. Not to mention the fact, you guys, that one of the biggest caveats for me is that I am not I don't like tracking. I'm sure you have picked up on that theme in my videos over the years. I know that I should just put on my big girl panties and get it done, and what's the big deal, track what you eat. When you're counting calories, you have to be very meticulous. You have to track that banana. You have to track your fruits and veggies. You have to track that, 15 calorie teaspoon of sugar or whatever that you're having. And I don't want to do that for the rest of my life. I want to get to the point where I can almost kind of eat intuitively. I think I'll always need some boundaries and some rules, and I know that there are always going to be likely at least times in my life when I need to refamiliarize myself with like proper portions and what I'm eating. But I also want there to be times whenever I can be like, okay, I'm just going to track, these few things, but my fruits and vegetables and my whole grains, I like the idea of not having to track those things. I'm also not super worried about going over on like the potatoes and the rice and the pasta and stuff. I like those things, and I think there was a time in my life when those would have been the main event on my plate, but now I really think of those things more as vessels for other delicious foods, things like meats and vegetables and yummy sauces and things like that. But they're not typically things that on their own I go back for seconds for. So I just really like the idea of not having to meticulously track everything and still be able to eat wholesome foods. My only thing with it and looking around is that I still think it lacks in some flexibility where healthy fats are concerned, but I think I have found a workaround for that for me, and so I'll explain that as I go through the day. So, that's just where I am with that. I wanted to give it a try. We'll see how it works, and I'll bring you guys along with me. And hopefully there's something here for everybody, even if you're working one of the other plans. So I've already had breakfast this morning, and I've had this breakfast 2 days in a row, and it's been absolutely delicious. I basically had like an egg and cheese on toast. I used a piece of the Ezekiel bread. I've really liked this bread. It's a sprouted bread. It's organic. It's 2 smart points for a slice, and it's really good toasty. I just think it's really hearty and toasted. It's really good toasted. And then I made up like a scrambled egg. I am not a huge egg fan, but I got to tell you, These pasture-raised eggs are absolutely delicious. And a little trick, you guys, is to use just a little bit of sour cream or yogurt, like a thick yogurt. I've been using the Siggy's whole milk, like cream style yogurt. Just use a little bit of that in your egg, and it just makes it really delicious and kind of fluffy. So I did that, little salt and pepper, and I also used half an ounce of the grass-fed cheese I've been getting from Aldi. So that's what I had for breakfast, along with 2 little clementines. They were really small, 2 little halo, like cutie oranges. Oh, by the way, my whole breakfast together was 4 points, 2 for the bread and 2 for the cheese. If you were working freestyle or the blue plan, it would also be 4 points, I believe. And if you were working the green plan, I believe it would be 6, because you'd have to add 2 points for the egg. So pretty good. All right, you guys, here's what I have whipped up for lunch today, like a little pasta bowl here. This is some organic whole wheat pasta. I picked this up at Trader Joe's yesterday when I went in for something, and I checked out their pasta and rice options, and they have some good ones. So I actually weighed out 2 ounces dry on my scale, because that's a serving. And then I just cooked that, you know, the way you would normally cook pasta. And then I drained it, and I threw in some steamed broccoli and 2 ounces of pork shoulder that I had left over from a previous meal this week. And the fat from the pork shoulder, you know, kind of got warmed and helped kind of season and flavor the other things that are in here. And I just seasoned it with some salt and pepper and a little bit of Parmesan cheese. So the pasta is 0 points for me, and the broccoli 2, and the pork shoulder cost me 3 points. If you were working the blue or the green plan, you would have to add about 5 or 6 points for the pasta, depending on how it scans. I think it would be 5, because it's a really good whole wheat pasta with, I think it was 7 grams of fiber per serving. I know that technically you could make this 0 points if you wanted to use chicken breast or turkey breast instead, but I am not a fan of 0 point meals. 0 point foods, yes. 0 point meals, no. I think one of the ways to keep my portions in check and keep me accountable for the amount that I'm eating is to make sure that I eat some pointed foods at every meal. So that's what I'm having for lunch. And then I just have an apple here that I'll probably munch on afterwards while I'm working on the computer. Yummy. I'm feeling just a little peckish, you guys. So I'm going to have a little snack right here just before I go pick up the kids from school. This is another piece of Ezekiel bread for 2 points. And then I have 1 tablespoon, which is about all I had left, of this Jif Whips for 2 points. And then half of a banana, which is 0. This would also be the same on the green and the blue plans. And I'm so sad, you guys. I'm probably going to have to give this stuff up if I really want to switch over to like clean eating, because there's some troublesome ingredients, but I love this. So anyway, that's what I'm having for a snack. Oh, I left a little early to go and meet the children because I wanted to get a few extra steps. It is very cold. They probably won't be happy if we're walking home today. It is about 32 degrees, but there's no wind and the sun is shining, and I think that makes a big difference. Yesterday the wind chill was just insane, and this morning it was pretty bad too, but it's better now. And I have discovered that if you put a hat and a scarf and some gloves on, it makes a big difference. I do have a treadmill and I do use it. I used it yesterday, but I don't know. I crave the fresh air. Anybody else like that? I just crave being out in the fresh air and breathing the fresh air and get some sunshine. So it's very still. It feels very much like winter here, even though it's not yet. Seems like we didn't get very much fall. As a friend of mine on Facebook put, I just love fall. It's the best week of the year. Here in Oklahoma, that's all we get. One of the reasons I kept going back and forth about whether or not I was going to do this is because for a couple of days I just sort of played around in my FitnessPal tracker and like tracking what a typical day would look like for me if I worked the purple plan, and just seeing where I would land calorically, knowing what I knew about points values. And I kept getting to, 15, 16 points in a day and only being at like 12 or 13 or 1400 calories. And that's with having 4 or 5 servings of fruits and vegetables, a couple of servings of the, complex carbs that are on that list and stuff like that. And I didn't just want to go back and change all of my meat to chicken breast and start plugging in fat-free cottage cheese and non-fat plain Greek yogurt. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do fat-free dairy. So it got me to thinking like, man, if only I could have a serving of healthy fats, like a tablespoon of olive oil or coconut oil, or 1 serving of nuts, and a serving of either whole milk yogurt or 4% cottage cheese. That would be an additional like 300 calories on my day, and that would put me over the top. And I was like, but man, that would be like 6, 7, 8 points per day. That would use up all of my weeklies. You know, and I want to save my weeklies for splurges, and especially for having like a caloric reset day for me, because one of the other things I've been doing is calorie cycling, right? I've been going back up to maintenance calories, and having those weeklies is going to let me do that once a week. So I was like, man, if only that were a caveat, this would work really well. And then I remembered, you guys, I have Fit Points. I have Fit Points, and I never used my Fit Points before because I was only concerned with losing weight as quickly as I could. You know, and like it says on the Weight Watchers website, I think it says, you know, people who follow this plan can typically expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week. Well, I don't want to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week. I would rather lose 1 to 2 pounds a month and keep my metabolism revved high. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use those Fit Points. And I routinely used to get 50, 60, 70 Fit Points in a week just from walking and jogging and going to the gym once or twice. I mean, it was not uncommon for me to have that many Fit Points in a week. And I think that would get me over the hump as far as wanting to keep my caloric level where I want it to be, but not have to meticulously track or double track every day. So yeah, I'm going to use my Fit Points for those things, but those very specific things and not other things. 1 serving of healthy fats and 1 serving of either whole milk yogurt or full fat cottage cheese. That's what I'm going to do. We'll just see if it works. I know some people will be like, man, I could never eat my Fit Points, or I could never eat my weeklies, or whatever. And I couldn't either at the end, but it was because I found out that my metabolism was not really revved up. And now that it is, you know, I think I can do that and still sort of whittle away at these extra pounds that are in my way to the lower end of my goal range. And then it'll be a great maintenance tool too. So that's my plan. Per our earlier conversation, I am eating an ounce of cashews for my healthy fat today. Hey you guys, dinner tonight is this leftover bowl of vegetarian taco soup. I made this last night, and you'll see that, or have seen that, in my grocery haul and what's for dinner video that came out the day before this goes up. And this actually is 0 points. I didn't really mean for it to be, but I'm going to add some stuff to it to make it not 0 points. But this just is basically beans and corn and tomatoes and broth and some seasonings and stuff. I've been experimenting with some vegetarian recipes because we have some family coming who are vegetarian. I'm going to add a few spoonfuls of this rice. Not this whole container, but just a few spoonfuls of it, kind of like I eat my chili. And it is this stuff I got at Trader Joe's. It is a sprouted organic California rice. It's a mixture of brown, red, and black rice. All of those are 0 points on the purple plan. And I really like this. You know, I just made it according to the package directions, and I added just a little bit of salt and pepper for seasoning, and I like it. So I'm going to add just a few spoonfuls of that and mix it in here to my soup. That's still 0 points, but what I have here is ½ ounce of cheese, which I weighed out on my little scale right there that you see. So I'm going to put that on, and that ½ ounce, I finally shred it with my little shredder. It finally shreds it so it looks like more than it is. But it's ½ ounce. And then I really wanted some tortilla chips, but we were out. It's the end of the week and I need to go to the grocery store. So I rummaged through the pantry and I have these Good Thins. And I'm having 1 point of these. I don't love these, but in a pinch they'll do in place of a tortilla chip. So you can actually have, like, I think up to 12 or 13 grams of these. I just weighed out 11 grams. They're actually sitting right there on the counter because I needed to use my scale for something else, but whatever. All right, you guys, for kind of a little end of the night treat, I'm going to have one of my Siggy's no sugar added yogurts. This is my favorite flavor. It's the banana and cinnamon, and it's really clean. It has just 5 ingredients: whole milk, pasteurized cream, bananas, fruit, pectin, which is a thing that's like found naturally in the walls of plants, I think cell walls of plants, cinnamon, and live active cultures. And honestly, like, how many bananas could they possibly fit in this? Like maybe a few pieces. I'm going to sweeten that with just a few drops of stevia, and I'm going to use 1 Smart Point worth of cinnamon cereal on that. So that's going to close out my day, and not counting this and the nuts I had, I came in at like either 15 or 16 points for the day. So I used my dailies, and I was curious, so I went ahead and plugged everything into my Fitness Pal tracker, and it came in right at 1,700 calories. So I think that's how I'm going to work it, you guys. I do not plan to double track. I do not plan to count my calories every day. I just kind of wanted to see what a few days of this occasionally look like and make sure that I'm eating enough calories, that I don't, you know, dip, that I don't give my body a chance to like adjust my metabolism too low. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm going to have. Thanks for coming along with me today. And I'll be sure to check in with you guys again very soon. Good night.